Welcome, guys. We to Tennis Sucks.
There we go. Thank God. It's about time. Fucking A.
I feel like I've caved to the pressure after
Thank you. You
finally.
have to.
But,
Yes, I need it.
Speaking of tennis, I was at the PGA show yesterday, and I got to meet a pretty famous tennis player.
You were not there yesterday. I was there yesterday.
Oh,
you
I
were
was there 2 days ago.
Okay.
Got it. But I want to show Travis's picture. If you could just show him this guy right here, who I managed to meet.
Hey.
Luke's new best friend.
My new
Loved
best
him?
friend. Yeah.
Bobby boy.
There you go. So I went up to him and was like, "Hey, do you know an ex-tennis player called Travis Redmeyer?" And he was like, "Yeah, I know Travis." I was like, "I grew up with him."
Exactly.
And I was like, "What, for real?" And he was like, "Yeah, I used to go to his house and play video games
Every day.
Bob
And then
Bryant.
beat the hell out of me. He and his brother would play a game called Plowage, where the one person had to tag the base, and so the bigger guy would tackle the small guy who was guarding the base. That got pretty heated.
Oh,
I
really?
actually chased after him once with a mic. The mic was way tougher with a baseball bat, and then I had shot him with a slingshot. And then I tried to drive him home. My dad would not allow that. I think I was like 8.
That's awesome. Wait, so how old were they? Because he said
They
you were
were
much
much
older.
older. I mean, but it was till I was like 12. They would come over and hang out. Their dad went to Loud TV. So if they wanted to watch the US Open, if they wanted to hang out, anything, they would come to our house and kick it.
Damn, that's
Well,
wild.
they were very nice to hang out with us.
Yeah, that was definitely not the response I expected. I thought he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I saw him on tour or something," and he was like, "No, I
these
literally
are
went to
like-
his
these
house
are
all
like
the
older
time."
brothers, yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Didn't he give you some fun inside stories?
That was it. That was the inside story. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That he used to get. They used to beat up each other at the video games, which I
Right.
thought was pretty
Oh, yeah,
hilarious.
that got
Yeah.
heavy, like little chips in the wall.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I got to see him play pickle. I asked him how many times he played. He said he played once with Matt Manassi and then once before that. But I mean, as far as tennis players converting, it looked like he'd been doing it for like.
Well, we were
Yes.
supposed to buy the Florida Smash with him first.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that was like our first initial intro.
Whoa.
And they kind of bowed out.
That's
But
wild.
that was who got Steve Kuhn essentially to come here originally
Hmm.
because we had the Bryan brothers on the hook. I called them, and then the whole thing started.
That's crazy. That's wild. All right. Yeah. So we have a special guest here. We got the Eric Tice.
Boys.
Eric, would
Welcome.
you say that you are the GOAT of pickleball stats and pro player knowledge?
I would put myself up there for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who would you say is like your main competitor for that information?
Well, I don't actually keep a lot of stats, but I have friends that keep stats.
Okay.
I love Pickle Key is MLP's like best stats by far. And then Pickle Wave is very good for PPA stuff. And we just got a new app that is super cool. Chris Cantino made it, PBLFG. If you have not downloaded it, it is amazing. And it helps keep track of like live scores like right then and there.
I legit know none of those. I'm not
I
familiar
just
with any of
downloaded the
them.
one he's talking about, and I'm like, I don't like apps, so this better be decent. And the quick view I got of it is pretty good. I don't know
So-
why we're plugging this for free, but
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, for sure. You're right. So Pickle
Don't be
Key,
greedy, Graham.
Pickle Key is run by my buddy who like basically every stat you ever need in MLP, not like real clear stats like return percentage or whatever, but
Sure.
like your record,
Mhm.
everything is in Pickle Key.
Got it. So it's not broken down so specifically. It's just
Yeah.
simply a
Like
generalization
records and stats like
Got it.
that.
Got
But yeah, so I use those things to kind of formulate like how players are playing and then use that and like my ability to judge where things are going to provide insights.
so
That's
I could
kinda what I
get
do.
I could get stats on like say Travis DC 2024 MLP.
Absolutely. From
Oh, cool.
Pickle
All right.
Key.
I gotta
That's where it all
I
turns.
gotta look that up.
Where it all turned.
That's wild. But yeah, anytime I don't know a pro, I'm like, Eric, who's this person? He's like,
I do
"Yep,
also
this is
keep
it."
my own, like I keep an Excel sheet of pro pickleball players is probably like literally in the 400s or 500s. Like
Wow.
if you say a name to me, I probably know at least something about
Are you familiar with my Asian call? My Asian call is that more than 50% of the top 10 players will be from Asia within 5 years.
5.
Yes.
I like that like as an over underline if we were betting on it
Yeah.
because I think for sure that's really possible. I just don't know how we compare. Like, do we get the game to a global place
Yes,
where we
but
can
then-
actually compare?
You-
I don't know
I
if
think
we're
you have
going
to
to be
say
able
it
to do
based
it.
on Duper or alone because it's the
Yeah.
only universal rating. But I think you're going to have a large, incredibly large inflow. I even saw on Instagram the other day a guy I've never seen who was like practicing for APP Japan, who was clearly also a soft tennis player.
Yeah.
And it was like, this dude looks good, and
Yeah.
he looks like he's practicing a ton.
Yeah.
So I just think there's going to be like a large flow of guys, and the skill sets probably match up a little bit better. So yeah, anyway, that's my grand
Yeah,
prediction.
for sure. No, I think
So
that's a
it's
good
possible.
bet. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Well, we're going to use Eric to give us some insights into MLP 2026, maybe some ideas for drafts.
This is the first time I've been nervous about a guest because he's going to make Travis and I look completely stupid about about being GMs or owners of a team. He's going to be like, he's going to mention a whole bunch of people who are like, never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Have no idea.
That's your job.
That's Eric. I've got him. I did my job.
Okay, you got
I brought in the expert.
Listen,
we're going to learn right now.
Facility. Now we need players.
Now we need players, and we're going to listen to Eric, and Eric's going to help us.
Then I'll be decent again, I promise. I won't be Washington 2024.
All right. Well, before we get to that, let's take a quick recap of some of the highlights from the Masters because we didn't get a chance to, but I won't spend too much time on there. A couple of things that I wanted to bring up. Did you guys watch the mixed match? Rachel Howells versus Faye and Fed.
I did, yeah. Incredible.
What do you guys think?
I mean, first on Will Howells, really hope he's okay from the Minnesota thing. Jesus, that looked bad. But yeah, hyper competitive. The points were wild. The weirdest thing to me was, and I don't know if this was by choice, but there were certain times in Palm Springs where the ball felt slow and soft. And I don't know if that's because they had that mistake with the other Lifetime balls that were super, super fast. But there were periods of time where it was like the ball's hard to put away. And so it looked like the points were extended, great dinking rallies, really good digs, the point where Federico goes for the ATP and then the Ernie and then comes back, or maybe it was an ATP. It was just very, very high drama. And I felt bad for Rachel and Will at the end being up 10-7. And, every time that I say a match is the best match I've ever seen, I feel like within 2 weeks, I'm like, that's the best match I've ever seen.
Right.
It just is constantly improving.
I would say that one, for me, that was easily the best match I've ever seen. That's outside of a quarterfinal. That was round of 16, I think.
The depth now is just getting wild.
Absolutely insane. And I know that's partially because of Will not having points, right? They will become seeded higher, and that wouldn't be a normal one. But that's definitely the best match I've ever seen outside of outside of a quarter.
Still, I mean, there's literally 15 really, really quality mixed teams now.
Yeah, for sure.
You can put them together from, it's going to be a lot of mixing and matching this year because people are going to go on a good runs and they're going to hold on to that partner, and then people aren't going to win very much and they're going to find a new partner, and it's going to be.
It's already started.
I'm sure it is. Why? You got that one.
Nope, not going there, but it definitely has already started.
That's the stupidest shit to say then. Don't say that then. I got a teaser. Nope, not for you. What is that, dude? It's not very nice. No, it's okay. You hold on to your sources. You'll hold on to your sources.
I have to.
I know. Fair enough. But yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I hope it's but yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah. I guess I was going to ask if we like Rachel and Howells together because Rachel seems to be kind of jumping around mixed doubles partners right now, figuring it out. And they seemed like they were good, but I guess that might not be the case for now.
I thought they were actually a really good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
It did seem like, because she and Federico never seem to really find their footing consistently. And it's weird. It's just like in men's, there's certain matchups that work really well together. If you're based on hand speed alone, then you want someone who speeds up a lot and wins in that battle. If you're a really good soft game player, you want someone else who's hyper focused and not going to make a lot of errors, and or maybe someone who finishes a little bit better. But they did seem to match up really well. And again, I just hope Will's not out for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
The other thing that was kind of wild is a series of new things. Obviously, first time that Anna Lee was sporting Nike, Franklin paddle.
You say Nike or you say Nike?
Nike.
Okay, it's
Nike.
Nike. Well, yeah,
Nike.
I know. This is an ongoing debate. So
it is. I've never heard
it's Nike, but
that's
a lot of Euros say Nike.
Yeah, me too.
I think I say Nike growing
Yeah,
up.
because
That's
you're
crazy.
a Euro.
That is beyond crazy.
I've never heard that. Ever.
Nike.
Really?
Wait till you
I
hear
don't
him
know.
say Adidas.
Adidas. Yeah, well, I played soccer all
That's
my
actually
life.
right.
So,
Adidas.
Yeah, right. See,
You're
I've got-
50-50.
Yeah.
Just like me.
50-50.
I win 50% of my matches, I lose 50% of my matches. I'm fine.
Exactly. But Anna Lee was also sporting a new serve, a lob serve,
Yes.
which was really interesting to watch. Is that the new meta for 2026?
That's a strong claim. You go first, Eric. You can give that one.
I've seen on social media that it's the new meta in rec, which is hilarious. How about you just try to get your serve
normal
in?
one, yeah.
But I did love, I think, was it Anna? Did a lob serve against, who did the lob
Jack
serve
Sock.
against Jack?
Yeah,
that was
then-
unbelievable.
and he just
Jumping for
crap out of it.
I would say don't do it against Jack.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do it against him.
But I think they're going to, anytime you can mix it up against a player so that they're not seeing the same exact serve over and over again and get your timing down,
Right.
it's good. But you have to keep that in the bag a little bit.
I agree. And I think that I'm doing these serving videos now online, and they seem to be the most controversial. why don't players do this? This is stupid. It's like when players are doing it. You take Georgia or even Rohrbacher, they'll do it on the left and they'll hit kind of like the side winding slice. The more variety is going to come into play. I actually think the lob serve is a really good play because Anna Lee on average was probably hitting it 4 feet from the baseline. If she gets that kind of depth and that kind of height, it's hard to get that much pace unless you're Jack Sock. And it's hard to get into the net quickly. So she's so good at taking the ball early on the third, it gives her a little advantage. And I think as the game progresses over the next 2 years, you're going to see more of a pitcher mentality. I have 8 serves and I'm going to hit them. Right now, maybe there's still kind of a slight ideology that the serve isn't a huge weapon. And I think that's changing.
How many serves does a tennis player typically hit? Different types?
I mean, it's 30.
Really?
For real? 30?
30?
Yeah, because like it's funny to think, but you can have a kicker, a fake kicker where you go tee, a fake kicker that slides from the slider toss, you go flat. So you'll have like 4 or 5 from kind of a slice variation, and then you're mixing speeds all the time, right? So if we just went like slice, kicker, flat, sure, those are 3. But you're doing a lot of things from each position to change the pace. So, okay, let's put in the 15 to 20 range, but it's a lot. You're doing a lot of things where you're going like body left hip, sliding it wide. You're going to take 10 miles per hour off so you can slide it a bit more and get them more off the court. So it's ongoing. There's obviously 3 that are probably your staples, but then you're definitely drifting outside of it.
How many tennis serves do you have, Graham?
1. It's a frying pan lollipop that he puts right in the middle of the box, but it goes in.
It works. It goes in. It goes in every time.
I lost to Connor today, by the way, lefty singles. I played lefty, and he was like, me and Graham want to know against you lefty.
That was
First thing he
pickleball,
said.
though, right?
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, again, I had my equipment. That time's biggest asterisk ever in Vegas. Some dog shit balls I found in like the trash can.
Nice.
Damn, that's wild. All right, so let's see. Other question that I was thinking about from the Masters is Jack Sock had a pretty good run in singles. And I think my question is, do you think he's going to win a singles tournament this year?
We talked about this before.
I had 4 on the docket. I don't know how many events he's playing, but I think he's right on the cusp. It seems like he's getting fitter. I certainly think in Arizona, and Eric can probably speak to this, they have a great group. Like they have 10 dudes that are really good, which is really what, Graham and I have talked about a lot in the past. That's so imperative to learning different people's strategies, different styles, and just improving your skills. And I think he's in that zone now where he has a lot of competitors and he's improving super fast.
Did he move to Arizona? Because wasn't he out in North Carolina before?
Yeah, he moved to Scottsdale.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Garnett moved to, I think, Chandler. And there's just a bunch of good dudes.
Augie, there's Caden Niemoff, there's CJ Kleiner, it's a lot of dudes, man.
Yeah.
Craig Johnson.
Yep.
Yeah,
for sure. I did
like name them all. Now they're going to feel bad.
I did. Yeah, I'm
you
sure
we're too deep.
I'm sure we're missing somebody. Sorry, whoever.
Jace Morris.
Oh yeah, my boy Andre Mercado, Will Schaefer,
Honor Mercado. God, we're going deep.
Now we got it. We got it.
We got this.
Rio Newcomb. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're done.
Done. Yeah.
But I did an article that was like 26 predictions for 2026, and one of them was that Jack would win a gold. To your point, it seems like he cares a lot more now. He's trying, which is scary. Because
what do you think the reason for that is?
Who knows?
No, I'll give you
prize money.
No, I don't think that's it. Honestly, I think for him it was more of an ego thing. I think he came in, he thought he was going to crush it. Then he got destroyed a little bit, and he was like, "I hate this." And then he was like, "You know what? I want to actually be really good." I think it was like this kind of emotional roller coaster.
And he's bringing a physio with him everywhere. He did hurt his hamstring, so I hope he's good too. Like we had 3-4 injuries in the Masters that obviously. I thought they were real injuries. Apparently they weren't because 2 of the players are playing this week, which is crazy.
Who was it?
Fed and Hunter. Hunter was like hobbling on his right knee, and I was like, in the bronze, he had
he's
to pull. And I was like, oh, he's done. And then
that's when he played Roscoe, right?
And then he made it to today in Minnesota, and Fed had like a little triceps issue, but he's playing fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jack looked like a little bit hurt there, so I'm hoping he can come back within a month or so.
I've never seen him fall like that too. And in all the years I watched him play tennis, like of course I've seen him like, oh shit, maybe I pulled up a little bit, but that's the first time I've seen him stay down.
Yeah.
So hopefully nothing too severe.
Right.
Interesting. All right. Well, moving on to something a little controversial. This week we got the news that they're going to be testing out a new size for singles, a PPA Challenger events. Lots of different opinions on this. I think it's 1.5 feet either side, so it takes it 3 feet in total.
17 feet wide.
So you're effectively getting a singles lane like in tennis.
Alley.
Travis,
It'd be real weird if they cut it off only one side.
yeah.
You're like 1.5 feet from each side.
That'd be
We took
amazing.
3 from one side.
We only play here now. You want aesthetically unpleasing? This is it.
What's your take on it, Travis? And then I'll talk about some other people's takes.
I mean, I have a lot of takes on it.
He already
but-
called out Chris Hayworth.
Yeah, I did. I
on
called him out
social,
right away.
saying he's going to destroy him.
I would rock his ass in that. Because it's skinny singles to some extent. Like, I get the concept of trying to slow it down. I do think it's, whether by design or not, for guys like Ben, who have now kind of regressed in singles, he's going to have more of an opportunity to play a little cat and mouse. It's going to be a little slower. But the obvious answer will always be just slow down the paddles. Like go back to where
Or
there was
the
some
ball.
cat and mouse, or the ball. Find some mid range.
Yeah.
And this is I commend the attempt to try to slow it down to make the points longer, because you cannot argue that singles has become so much serve +1. It's not what
Right.
I think the majority of people want to see. I certainly don't. I enjoy the cat and mouse. I enjoy the dynamic movements, but I don't think it's going to necessarily showcase athleticism more as they claim. It's just going to elongate the points. It's going to make it more arduous.
Interesting. What about you, Eric? What's your take on it?
I actually think it's going to have this might be a hot take. I don't think it's going to have that huge of an impact on the guys' game. I think it's going to impact the women's game a lot more, because right now you have elite athletic women who are not getting to the net ever because they're choosing not to.
Right, they stay back and pass.
It doesn't matter if they hit a great deep shot, they're still not going. And this will force some of the women who are athletic to get to the net quicker and actually get to the net and play. And it will, if it goes longer than the 4. Now it's hard because we're testing it at a challenger, right? So we're not getting the elite of the elite, but we still have PPA signed women playing those. Like Jalena's playing next week in Tucson, or this weekend in Tucson. And so I do think, seeing how that plays out, I think that if it went long term, it would have a larger effect on the women's field than the men's.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that the kind of counter points are definitely that the ball should be slowed down versus the court shrunk. And I think that some of the arguments there is that when players rush the net, you immediately have to go for a passing shot. So it's either a winner, an error, or a volley, put away volley. And so it actually won't extend the point as much as they think, but slowing the ball down with a regular size court.
No,
would
it'll slow it
create
down.
more
It will slow it
dynamic.
down. It will slow it down for sure. But like he said, more people are going to come forward. You're going to have to be forced to come forward a little more to finish the points. Jaume Martinez-Vic had a good alteration that I thought, whether it's good or not or logistically feasible, he's like, if we're not going to change anything from a equipment point of view, and we don't want to alter the court's aesthetic, because I do think it will look weird with like these little, like that's the alley.
Yeah.
Weird shit. Then you could raise up the net like 2 to 3 inches, and then the drops have to be higher. The guys pass, they hit the ball that hard, and the ball goes long. It was like, okay, that's decent. That could slow it down as well.
For sure.
But then it's hard, obviously, as a player to adapt to this kind of alteration in heights. And, again, the obvious answers are never going to happen because money wins and paddles sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrinking the court's not going to catch.
No, it's not going to catch. There's no chance.
No chance. It's fun. I think it's great for promoting PPA Challenger.
It's a great
But what,
goal.
we're going to go through the whole country now and start making these courts that are a little bit smaller. Like, no one's paying money for that for some singles events,
Right.
or some singles matches. Not going to happen.
Right, it's not going to happen.
So,
Yeah.
but it's
Makes
fun.
sense. Plus,
I agree.
It wouldn't, if their pros had a different court than rec players, then that would be worse almost.
Yeah,
'cause
it
then-
detracts the popularity. It diminishes it.
For
Like,
sure.
what do you want to sell? A do-it-yourself chalk kit? Like,
Yeah, but it's fun.
yeah,
I like it.
It's fun.
It's
And I love that we're doing, like,
Mm.
if it's an idea that actually somebody wants to look into, PPA Challenger Series is the place to do it. Why
Are you
not do it?
familiar with the lifetime ball error that they made?
Yeah.
Like how comical is that, though, that the prototype ball that they were testing
Yeah.
wasn't slower,
Yeah.
infinitely faster.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm still convinced that the Masters, whether they say so or not, I was grabbing someone, I was like, this is the new one.
Yeah.
This isn't right.
Oh, here we go.
I was there.
No, don't start your theories. This is fact, because other people were saying the same.
No,
I shouldn't
it's
say fact. I should say fact.
No,
I shouldn't
it's
say fact. I
fact.
shouldn't say fact. I said other people agree, where yours is you alone and only you, and you should be in a corner by yourself. But
I had the same idea for Dura. I thought the Duras
no,
were
he had
different
the
for
stupidest
pro.
idea.
than they were that we could buy like off a Pickleball Central.
And then you said that they would scuff them up prior.
Oh, stop it.
Exactly.
Stop it.
It gets
Stop
ridiculous.
it.
But the fact is, Chris Crouch is the one who told me, when we come out and hit, and he's like, dude, they just sent me 100 and I believe they're wrong. I'm like, you're stupid. Just go back there. Sure enough, he hits like a drop, 2 inches over the net. We have cushioned courts here. And the ball bounced like a foot over, snap forehand. It was like, whoa. What is happening?
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I think they did have a little mix and match in the Masters, and quite a few balls were different.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Julian Arnold throw his paddle on the ground?
I did.
Yeah.
In fact, Frenchie wrote me today. He was like, did you watch my match? And I was like, I haven't seen it at length.
That's funny. What do you think about that?
I think Tyler Loong really wanted to win.
I think Tyler really wanted.
That's what I took from it, honestly.
Dude, I'll never forget that. And just to put in this context, there was a point we had a long time ago where the point had been concluded and the argument he was making had nothing to do with the outcome of the point, but he argued it relentlessly. And I thought, like, I know people like you, just no character whatsoever. But anyway, Tice, don't say anything, but none. And so, he really wanted to win. He sat there for 5 minutes after arguing the point. Like, if you're going to do it, argue. And apparently on the scoreboard, they had actually defaulted him. He convinced them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did the Matt Wright thing where they challenged the challenge of the challenge and got it reversed and then reversed and then reversed.
Didn't they both end up not playing?
Yes.
Basically, that match didn't matter.
Right. So here's the actual outcome of that, whether you like it or not, this is what actually happened. Julian threw a paddle on the floor. And it took a bad bounce into the stands. Definitely could have hit somebody.
Yeah, it didn't hit some of those, as far as I know.
But it could have for sure. They play out the rest of the match. Julian and who was Julian playing with?
Martin Emmerich.
Martin Emmerich win
11-9 in the third.
And then basically they get forfeited because of that whole situation much after the match is done. So then Tyler and French are like, well, we should go on then because they got forfeited. But then it's like, but they also played out the entire match.
Right.
So it's like you lost and you got forfeited. So what they ended up doing was both of them basically lost. I forget who went on, and they just got I think it was Tyson.
Max Freeman.
And Max Freeman.
Yep.
They got a bye in the next round, and then they move on, which is honestly, I think is the right thing to do if you're forfeiting after the match. Like, we already know the outcome of the match.
They shouldn't have forfeited him. I don't think so.
I personally, I think they should have gotten forfeited right then and there.
That's my point. Is if they're going to forfeit them,
the ref needs to call it right in the moment.
Then,
I agree.
And I actually had this happen in Japan years ago. Tennis, if you hit somebody, if you actually endanger someone, sure, you get defaulted. But you generally need to hit somebody.
Yeah.
And I flung my racket up in the air like this. Little gust of wind took it.
It was a gentle toss.
No, it was
gentle circular motion.
Don't change.
And a slight breeze happened to catch it.
Okay, maybe the angle release was just a little off, but I meant to toss it up like that where I could catch it, and it went that direction, and it landed in between some patrons. Okay. If they had been hit, I get defaulted right away, as the rules explained to me. They did not get hit. I kept playing, won the match, and we proceed. But for them to play and win and then not move forward, it doesn't seem like that's the right call. And I realize we're still in the stage of learning, but this is an Agassi phrase. Take what tennis does well, use it. Take what they don't do well and change it. In this case, don't make it subjective. Oh, they could have gotten hurt. They could. Nope. No one got touched. Game on.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, I feel like this is the second time someone's thrown a paddle in that way.
That was DJ at Minnesota also. Actually, a long time ago.
I thought it was Pablo.
Oh, that was actually also at Minnesota, but DJ was first.
So many Minnesotas.
Minnesota. That was what where like Pablo went behind and like smashed. There's a lot of things about Minnesota.
Okay, got it.
And I love Minnesota. Don't get me wrong, but we're in sub 17 degree temperature. People are like, if I lose, can I leave here? Probably not. You're stuck for 12 weeks now. I'd be pissed too. Get me the fuck out of it.
Damn. Minnesota's though going to become like one of those stops that you see that like Instagrams coming out of there. People are wearing like full on, you know. I think it's becoming like a thing. Like, I don't know. They're becoming a popular stop now in a way.
Tournament.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that Lifetime is beautiful.
I've heard it's unbelievable.
Plus, there's lure around the fact that, Anna Lee and Ben aren't playing, so people are more likely
Anna Lee is playing.
Oh,
just women's doubles.
Just women's doubles.
Yeah.
So there's a little more lure around that because you get some new winners. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's just something to Minnesota that's becoming fun to watch. And seeing all the snow is wild.
I actually see an amazing Airbnb there too. I like Minneapolis. It's cool.
That's awesome. Damn, yeah. I mean, some of the things that just I just watched this kid Camden Chafin, 14 years old. Is that right?
Did he end up beating Hayworth?
He
No,
lost.
Yeah, it was up 10-8.
Yeah,
I switched on
crazy.
at 10-8 game 2.
Dude, and he beat Fed yesterday.
Yep.
I mean,
And the ball he missed at 10-8 was like a half-inch long. Super close.
Yeah.
wild. Yeah, I mean, there were some really close calls on the lines in the match as well, just with Hayworth.
But Eric says that Camden is like 14 going on 20.
Yeah, so I coach elite level soccer goalkeepers at the youth level, and goalkeepers are normally tall. And I saw him in, what was that, MLP Cup, right? He played for the junior MLP team. And afterwards, I was like, oh, that kid's like 16 or 17 for sure.
Yeah.
And then when I was like, are you guys for real right now?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
even if you speak to him, we played him last year in Kansas City, I want to say, and he was humble, well-spoken, sharp.
100%.
You know, is he from Minnesota? Is he no?
No.
Okay.
He's from Ohio.
Ohio. Okay.
Yeah, Ohio.
Got it.
Like he trains a lot with Ross,
Got you.
I believe.
Okay.
one thing that I thought was interesting, and I was in my mind, I was remembering what something Graham was saying, that there was a huge crowd with him and Hayworth, right? And the cheering for Camden is insane.
Right.
Like all cheering for him. And then I was thinking about how Graham said that there was an incredible match with the Karamotos versus Anna Bright and Anna Lee. And it was only Anna Lee they were cheering for, right? And I was trying to go through my mind of like, what are the parameters in which crowds are rooting or cheering for these players? Because effectively they're watching almost the number one singles player. And it's like, that's the name you should know. But I guess it's just because this kid's 14.
It's
They're like,
always
we
gonna be
have
young
to
ones.
cheer
Yeah,
for
the
this
kids
one,
are going
right?
to always.
Yeah, kids
The
will always
and
galvanize.
he's close to home. I'm guessing he has a bunch of family there too. Like, and
Cool.
like Hayworth is known as one of the nicest guys and one of the most easily likable guys on
For
tour.
sure.
So like, if a whole bunch of people are rooting for the other person, it's not because it's against Hayworth.
No.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I think anytime you have like, let's say Jimmy Connors for the U.S. Open when he was really old, or a super young kid, they're gonna migrate towards that
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Why aren't more people cheering for you then?
because I'm an asshole and I don't win enough. Since you get me players,
Gotcha.
I'll win more.
Working
Thanks.
on it.
I feel like Travis has like a core group of guys that like will at some tournaments come and be like, we love Travis. but it's not.
I think
it's
most
not
of the players
masses.
like me because I'm straight. I mean, like I keep it 100. Tyler Loon doesn't like me because I call him
Right.
out. Al Hoonies don't like me because I call him out. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I'm not for everybody. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
But having said that, I also get a lot of people who will be like, I just met Travis and he's the nicest guy. And
There you
it's like, they just got to
See?
meet you in person. And then
Thank
all of
you.
a sudden they're like,
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to some meaty topics. We've got MLP coming up. Draft is coming up in February.
Yep. February 27th for the premiere.
Sweet. So Eric, you're the man here. Can you walk us through like what changes we have this year? And then see how, we think
The
how
Will
that'll
Howells
affect
could be a big thing.
That could be a huge thing.
I'm
What do you
talking
mean?
specifically about changes to the format. Even.
Yeah, format
Oh,
first.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. We'll go through them. Just get your takes. First thing that was important to me was use of all 6 players at the premier level. Just to be clear, you can't sub mid game. Obviously, if somebody gets hurt, you can. But Travis could play men's doubles and then get subbed out for mixed doubles and with the third guy or whatever. There is no more starter bench.
I really
10
like
out of
that.
10, right? Like,
Yeah.
love that shit.
Love it. Yeah.
Would have loved that last year. Like the more strategy involved
Correct.
from like the GM and coaching perspective,
storylines.
I like it
Yes.
more.
Same. We all do.
Event winners are back, meaning every weekend every team is playing 5 events. 10 teams go to each event, and the event is split up into 2 groups. They're called Group A, Group B, whatever. I don't know what they're going to get called. You play round robin so you play 4 matches. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You get seeded 1 through 5 in your groups, and then 1 and 1 play each other on Sunday. 2 and 2 play each other on Sunday. 3 and 3, 4 and 4. And the best part, I think, great job by MLP. 5 and 5 do not play each other because we do not want to see the 2
worst.
shit teams
Yeah.
play each other. So, but we have event winners.
I don't know why you're looking so hard at us when you say
I
that.
wasn't staring directly.
Didn't it seem like he was like
He
looking
did.
right into our
That might be our own insecurity, though. That might be our own insecurity. We can talk about that later.
He
We have a
literally, when he
therapist.
said shit teams, he was like,
But I love that. Like, I think it's great for. I think the league can sell Sunday viewership a ton because you're going to get the best of the best against each other. every Sunday, and even second best, third best, like those matches will be good.
They'll be awesome.
Agreed.
Are you team MLP in regards to like, you think it's not necessarily a better product, but it galvanizes fans more and engages more attention?
I've been that way since I started pickleball. My first like
Smart man.
my first immersion in pickleball, my first in-person thing was 2023 MLP Mesa when Hayden,
That was an
Leia,
insane event.
Ignatowicz, and Anna Lee were on a team, and I was just like, holy shit, I am hooked. I came from like
that was the stomp one.
Yes, exactly. And I came from it, like I played team sports my entire life. I played college soccer and lacrosse. Never played tennis. I know nothing about tennis. I barely understand anything you say when you talk about tennis. But like, so watching MLP, it's like that version of pickleball for me. So I love MLP.
I usually like that. Like I'm from Los Angeles, California, so I root for the Lakers because I like LA. You know, not because I care about the players. And I think that sits true. Anyway,
regular season standings are very different this year. So it's just like F1, where the winner, so that 1 versus 1 play each other. The winner of that gets 25 season standing points, and then loser gets 18, and then it kind of goes down from there. We don't need to go into, but I like that version. That way they can make it more fair for everybody, and like the losers get like 1 point. Thoughts on that?
Good with it.
yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
So like a tournament inside of a tournament.
Exactly. Every weekend is a tournament inside of a tournament. Yeah, for sure.
We love that.
And I just love that like Sundays is like something to look forward to every Sunday. Like, because we've had, I mean, this past year, every year, the past 2 years, it's been like, oh, the Sunday afternoon match is
Fresh.
the New York Hustlers versus the Carolina Hogs or whatever. And it's like, no one wants to, like, it's very difficult to sell that as the league, and it's very difficult to tune in unless you're a psycho like me and you just watch every single match. Playoffs expanded from 10 to 12 teams this year. Thoughts on that?
I don't see any downside.
Yeah, I think the playoffs last year were electric. There's no reason not to sell it more. You know, hopefully it doesn't get too thinned out, but
yeah. Also, on top of the 10 to 12, part of that reason is because they moved it, instead of 2 weekends, it's now 3.
Yep.
So you have 1 weekend in Dallas, then we go to San Diego, then we go to New York.
Yeah.
I like that spreading out much more. Not that I don't think play was really affected in New York, but there is now a week, or basically a weekend between San Diego and New York, which I like, because then from the quarters and then the players have a little bit of a break before the semis and the finals, which I like.
Yeah, I think Zane commented on that. Like the playoffs are so awesome. Let's try to expand them and like showcase each match a little bit better.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Those are the ones I wanted to go.
So
cool.
I think one of the questions that I had with the expansion of, or the edit on the 6-player thing where you can kind of sub people in, is this going to affect the drafts in that people might draft single specialists for Dream Breakers specifically, you think?
I've heard it both. I've heard that a lot. I actually don't know if that's going to be true. Sure, there are going to be some teams who get like an older player that just can't play singles and they get a single specialist.
Right.
But I think the players that are more versatile, that can play at least 2 of the 3, maybe like for me, an example would be Michael Lloyd is more valuable now because he's great in singles and he's very good in mixed. He's not as good in men's, but like he could fill in for sure.
For sure.
But I wouldn't call him a singles specialist. Like if you got like a good right side guy that would play men's, he's a great option as a mix.
Yeah,
so I think those values, that if you're more versatile, you're more valuable.
And he gets hot in mixed. He's very, very good. So he can play those two events really strongly.
What do you guys think? How would you approach a draft?
The opposite of what we originally think, because we just don't do very well. So whatever Graham's original intention is, you just tell me I'll do the opposite.
I honestly, if you're looking at results right now, I don't think our team's that bad. They're just bad together. Look at Case and Campbell's results. Look at Paula's results in the last. Help me out here, Eric. Am I right?
Paula has done well recently. Didn't she win a challenger or came in?
Won a challenger
with
Chris Crouch. But Kaysen, I mean, he's getting to, I don't know, rounds of 32 and men's. Mixed still not there. And singles, obviously, having just a big win recently.
Right. Alshon, sure.
Over Alshon.
Yeah.
So, the opposite. What are we going to do now that, well, first off, we're not in Premier. What would we do differently about drafting with these new rules?
Well, you're saying, would you take a single specialist or would you play it as normal? I personally wouldn't take the single specialist because I think that it's shown true in time that for 4 points, anything can happen from those.
Yeah.
There are some, and I don't have like the data in front of me, but like I have mapped out every single Dream Breaker point that has existed in the last 2 years.
No, sorry.
And there are some very good singles players that are, I don't want to say terrible. They're terrible in Dream Breakers. And it's not because they're terrible singles, but they're very good.
Yeah.
But there are players that have to get hot.
Yeah.
Right? Like they have to get into a rhythm, and they may go down 1-6 in a PPA, then they're fine because they get on a roll. They're just going to roll you. And in MLP, you do not have that time to get in that rhythm.
Yeah, it's definitely more of an energy thing, I think, especially for that is, it's a nerves and energy. Can they get hyped from the first second they step out on the court?
Yeah, and that's a good thing. It really is. It's more of a nerves thing. Like, can you kind of temper that moment and make sure you execute? I don't think it has as much to do with like tactics or skill.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. So are there any changes that you guys would have wanted to argue for this year?
Changes. I'd love to see if there is a challenger this year. I don't think we know that for sure. Eric, do we know?
That's the only change.
Has it been announced?
We don't know. Yeah. So we did a press conference as media members. We did a press conference with the league, and we got a whole bunch of rules changes, and we published them like last week or so. But that was all related to Premier. We were told like there are some decisions being made about challenger still.
Yeah.
Got it. So if there is a challenger, I think one thing I like to see is us get 6 players. I'd like to see us actually draft players before the 5th and 6th get drafted for Premier. I'd like to, like I get why Premier needs to take.
They're not going to do that now.
They're definitely not.
Yeah,
no, because there's no benches.
He's asking me what I'd like to see different.
Sure.
I'd like to see the 4 for Premier get picked, and then we get to pick some people. Get our 4, and then they get their 2 backups, and we get our 2 backups.
So you still like that, even if the Premier teams are using all 6?
Well, yeah, if we're in Challenger, yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm being selfish here, I would agree.
I'm more objective.
If I'm a GM or owner of a Challenger team, I'm agreeing with you.
Well, not just that, but okay, all teams are going up next year to Premier regardless, right? If they don't go this year,
it's a disaster if they don't.
Yeah, so it's like we're worried about this like disparity between Challenger and Premier. That's why Challenger can't go up, right? If you continue to have us picking the people that are 3rd and 4th tier players, sorry, Travis, it's not the case for you. The disparity gets larger, right, for next year. Yeah, and so it's give us a 3rd tier player, a 2nd tier player, at least 1 or 2 this year. So when we do move up, if it's next year, we're not a disaster. We're like, a quarter of the way there at least. Yeah. And so I think it is better for the league if there is a challenger this year to have players picked, before they get their 2 up there that they get to plug in.
Got it.
Yeah. And I think there's plenty of up and comers that it can handle both.
There are.
For sure.
There are. The inflow right now is substantial. So I mean, the best thing for the league 2 to 3 years out, in my view, is you just put everyone in now. Yeah. That's my thought.
That's all of our thoughts.
Yeah.
I got 2 things.
Go ahead. Yeah. Tell me yours.
For Challenger specifically. And you guys might hate this, so I'm interested to see. First, if this is controversial, then I don't know what I'm talking about. Get rid of the 4th game if we're up 3-0. I don't care. Figure out a different way to do a tiebreaker because I hate the 4th game with a passion. And then the next one is probably controversial. I like the idea. I used to watch Arizona Pickleball League way back in the day, like 2-3 years ago. Love the idea of being able to,
Thanks, Graham.
What just happened?
Yeah, don't worry. Keep going, Tice.
I'm so thrown off right now.
He's just
Jesus. Thanks, Graham. But I love the idea if a team, like let's say we're playing regular scoring to 11, if a team goes down by more than 5, I could sub in somebody mid-game. Just to see what that looks like and see if that works.
Oh, so you think in Challenger they won't use the same rules as far as if we get 6? You think it'll just be like?
Yeah. What I'm saying is like if it's Challenger, if we have Challenger and there's a place where we can test out some new rules like this singles at alley thing. Like,
listen, you can test out anything you want in Challenger. Last year was so painfully boring. I mean, playing the same people every week for absolutely nothing. It was like kill me.
Yeah.
Mid-game subs would be pretty interesting.
Why did they be down 5? We don't. You're just saying that. That's likely when
that's
we'll put
how
them
they did it in the Arizona Pickleball League. You had to be. Now their scoring system was way weird, and it was different. But I'm just saying, like, okay, maybe you're down 3 and you can sub in.
Why are you down? Why can't I decide to sub?
Because you want to give the advantage to the person that's down. You want to make it more entertaining to get closer to the end.
I see. So then the winning team wouldn't just sub for the last couple points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know.
My
Subbing
line
mid-game.
is in Challenger, you can use as many rules as you want.
Yeah,
Try,
yeah.
try shit out left and right.
Sorry, I'm just thinking through. I don't know why being down is going to give the team that's like they're down 1, let them sub in. If the other team's up 1,
Yeah, maybe
and
you
if the
only
other
get
team-
like 1 sub per match or per game or something.
But I mean,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if
yeah.
even the other team's up and they sub, isn't that technically giving advantage to the team that's down because they have this killer winning team? The other team subs in, and now suddenly maybe they're not as good.
Yeah, so
It's
maybe
always
you
an
make
advan- it's
a
always
so
an
maybe you make a rule you can only sub 1 person in per game, or but mid game sub I think is what I was going for.
All right. So I mean, we kind of touched on this a little bit before. You were saying that there's enough players or there's enough up and comers to make the drafts interesting. And I know that, Eric, you were listing a bunch of people that you were saying is part of a youth movement, like kids that are like becoming really good and could make a premier roster. Like, you want to talk us through that? Like,
I mean, I do think there are. So in my limited, I don't have like rosters or UPA signings. Every player has to be signed by the UPA, but in my sleuthing, I think there's like 17 or 18 kids signed right now that are below the age of 18. I think there's at least a handful that will probably be on premier teams this upcoming year.
I don't think anyone's arguing the fact that there's enough males. It's been this way for 3 years now, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely enough males to have the disparity not be like disgusting.
mhm.
It's always been female is the issue. So
Yeah.
do you see enough females that have come up to?
Yeah. On the female side, obviously, I know she's already in Premier. She's going to be probably I would think if she's not top 10 drafted woman in Premier next year, I would be absolutely shocked. Kaylee Campbell will be drafted Premier.
You know the story behind that, right?
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Very, unfortunate, I guess. I
Yeah.
would
It's
say.
painful. How do you think the Florida Smash would have been last year had it been Kaysen, Kaylin, Travis, and Martina?
Wait, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think you guys would have done a lot better.
It's a good team, right?
Very good team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kiara just won, beat Brooke Buckner in singles. Kiara Kunimoto was also 1 silver medal away from a triple crown at the Challenger and Rally. If I was a betting man, which I am, which I'm not going to bet on this particular situation, I would put a lot of money in her being the breakout player of the year on the women's side.
Okay.
She's 17-year-old from Hilo. Ella Ye was at the junior MLP. She's good. Elsie Hendershot. Anybody that trains, here's free shout out to anybody who trains with Elise Jones is really freaking good at pickleball.
Wow. That's who Travis has been playing with recently, that kid, right?
Braden Jacobson. That kid is good and he's going to be good. And they're like, to your point, there are 4 or 5, I would say, guys that are under the age of 18 that are probably going to get drafted.
You saw the junior MLP
I was
results
there.
from Dallas.
I was there and I watched the match against the
Breakers?
The Breakers.
Yeah.
It was absolutely
was
insanity.
sick.
Yeah. And
And
were
the
so
crowd
good.
loved it.
Yep.
Yeah. I was
Wow.
watching that too. And it's probably the best match I watched that whole week.
Damn.
I would say overall, to your point, if there is a challenger this year, like going after the younger up and comers, even if the play isn't as good now, going forward is probably the play just because you have control over them for 3 years, the keepers for 3 years, and you're hoping that you can either hit on 2 of them or whatever, and like either they're really good for your team when you go to Premier, or they've now inflated their value so much
They're
that
good for
since you drafted them, they're really good for trade and you
Yeah.
can get some money. So I do think that will be a strategy that challenger teams do
Got it.
employ.
I'm going to stay positive and hope there is no challenger this year. I think we
Got
should
it.
go Premier. I think there's some good argument for why. One of them is how do you distinguish between challenger and minor league pickleball and what they're promoting for minor league pickleball? It's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of becoming, like a gray area of what's the difference.
Yeah. Especially what is that, Duper 22 they have?
What's the difference? It's not too far off. The other one is there aren't many challenger teams left. It's like Travis was saying, we're playing the same people over and over and over again.
Yep.
That gets a little difficult. And I think the other one, the big argument is about disparity, which we're having right now. And it's like our argument, and kudos to Ruben for, bringing this up recently. Our argument for this is like, if you keep us as challenger and have us where we're picking, the 110th person as our first round pick, that disparity is getting larger. Technically, you're saying is like, hey, I know you guys aren't getting closer to being a premier team, and this year you're going to get even further away from being a premier team. Whereas if there's all premier teams this year, yes, we're going to have some bad teams that aren't going to be overly competitive. We might get a win here and there, right? But at least we have a shot at spending some money and going after maybe like a tier 2 pro, right? And we grab one of those in the draft, and we're just a step or two closer to being a competitive premier team for 2026. Or 27. Yeah. And so I think the argument is actually the opposite. You're making the disparity larger by keeping a challenger and a premier.
Yeah, I could see that. I think this is what drives me crazy about some of the fans. It's like, oh my goodness, this team went 3-22 and everybody on their staff should get fired. And if you look I don't care what sport you look at that has teams in sports, there's bad teams that are spending a shit ton of money. That's the same. Sorry, I don't know if I'm wrong.
No, this is the right one. Yeah, you came to the right podcast.
But they're spending They're spending the same amount of money, right? Because in other sports, there's regulations. There's a floor you have to spend. There's a max you can spend. Maybe you can spend above, but you have to spend a whole bunch. Like you can name those teams in pickleball right now, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so every league has that. Whether they're competent or not competent, it doesn't, whether they spend or don't spend, every league has it. And so no matter what, that will happen. I don't care if we're 20 years into MLP
there's going to be some really crappy teams.
Running crazy on CBS every weekend that it plays. There's going to be some shit teams.
And some of the shit teams have the best fan bases.
Right.
So what's the argument there? They fill the stands and they can't win a game.
Yeah.
It's like, we can make this argument all day. And I completely agree with you. And I think that, the people up there will say, yeah, let's do Premier this year. Let's do it. We have some bad teams. Okay. Don't give us much coverage. We won't get as much viewership.
There was bad teams last year. There was bad teams the year before. There's going to be bad teams next year. So it's like, and I think there are, knowing the ownership groups of some of the challenger teams, I do think there are some ownership groups that are going to be willing to spend more than some of the premier teams. So it's like, why not give them a shot? Okay.
Yeah. All right, good. Glad you're on our team.
I agree with that. I always felt like this past season, more than ever, the challengers section of MLP was so muted. Like I felt like they never referenced it. I didn't see it as much. It
was hard for me to cover it. Honestly, it was very difficult for me to cover it.
I mean, I think, I hate to say it, I know we didn't have a great team. We didn't win a lot, but I think you understand why we didn't want to spend a lot of money.
Right.
What if we had spent, I don't know, what we could have even spent, let's say 100,000 or 200,000 more for some better players. Maybe it would have gotten us to Premier. Maybe it's not a given. I mean, the Chefs almost won it.
Right.
And so what did it get us? There was no coverage. I don't think we could really grow a fan base. I don't think we could really got any sponsorship. Like, it's tough to sell sponsorship to something you don't hear or see.
Right. And last year, and if I would assume this year, if Challenger is at the same events, then they're always going to be on Grandstand, and you have to pay for Pickleball TV to get that. Otherwise, you're just getting the replays on YouTube and stuff. Yeah. So it is hard I'm sure it's hard to sell that.
Yeah. And so I think you get why maybe we took a different strategy of getting like up and comers or people you might not know, or people that we thought are going to be good in a year or two, and people that have good social media followings and are willing to come do extra events for us. Like, a tournament we have here where our sponsors bring them out, take some photos. There's a reason why we did what we did.
For sure. I think Kaysen is a great example of all of it. Like, he's a great kid, comes from a great family, and
he's playing nonstop. Local, he's training nonstop,
and he's willing to do those things. Like, and he can speak to them. Like, he does all of that. So it makes total sense.
He was a great teammate.
Agreed.
He still is.
Great. I mean, I was going to ask for some prediction stuff. It's actually kind of hard to say. Like, if we don't know if there will be a challenger or not, then it's like, I don't know, draft strategies are even a question.
I actually don't know yet either. I'm hoping for a Premier. I think it's still an open question that we should find out probably the next, 5 to 7 days.
Owners meetings are late next week, right?
Yes. No, not even, early next week.
Okay.
In Dallas.
Got it.
Yep.
Great. Well, yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. I actually love the Smasher, like an underdogs in my heart. Like, I think that's so cool. I think that when the Smash actually come through and dominate, there'll be a small core fan group that was like, we supported them.
I think that our fan base is going to grow dramatically this year. One, because we're having an event here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. We're going to get 10,000 local people to see it and be like, oh, that's our team.
Yeah.
And suddenly we're going to have fans that we didn't have before.
Hell yeah.
And it's going to, galvanize this year.
In my local area, like the rec courts, like no one that if you go to regular rec courts, they barely know who Ben and Annalie are. But
right.
All of a sudden I go to some rec courts, multiple rec courts, and you see the Phoenix team's stuff all over. And I'm like, okay, we're moving the needle for sure.
St. Louis is big on that. There's quite a few. Dallas big on that.
Texas, yep.
Doing the marketing right. Yeah. Makes sense. Sweet. All right. Well, yeah, I'm going to maybe cut it off there because we've spent a long time. This is a long episode. So I'll save some stuff for next week. But thanks, Eric, for coming on, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you guys next week. And we'll still make bad calls, but I guess we're kind of sucks again. So thanks, everyone.
Bye.